There are more upcoming high-quality gacha games to look forward to today than ever before. Games like Neverness to Everness, Arknights Endfield, Azur Promilia, Astaweave Heaven, Project Mugen, Unending Dawn, Uma Musume, Heaven Burns Red, Girls Frontline 2, Duet Night Abyss. Yeah, we have a lot. We have a very packed upcoming year, and lots of people are wondering, like, roughly when can we expect to play these games? And while we don't have definitive, defined release dates for every single game, we do have rough estimates for some, release dates for others, and a little bit of speculation for the rest. Now, if this is your first time here, consider subscribing to the channel, hitting the little bell notification, that way you remain up to date with every single thing that I post, and I post daily. Do not miss out. Today, we're gonna go ahead and discuss all of the upcoming gacha games that I am excited for, and when approximately we can expect to be able to play them. Let's go ahead and start this off with Azur Promilia, which is arguably one of, if not the most anticipated upcoming gacha game right now. The game has caught the attention of millions of players, partly because it is set within the Azur Lane intellectual property, partly because it is being developed by Manju, who have done incredibly well with Azur Lane, and also because the game is beautiful, it's vibrant, it's essentially Genshin Impact. It's hitting those notes that Genshin Impact hit while providing us a unique new feel, unique new mechanics and features, mounts, farming. This might ultimately result in more endgame options outside of farming echoes or relics for your characters. The expected release date for Azur Promilia is 2025. More than that, according to Leaks Online, Azur Promilia obtained a license within China to publish their game set for the 25th of January 2025, which theoretically means as long as they don't make drastic alterations to the game or suffer significant delays that push the game back potentially half a year to a year, we should have a playable version of Azur Promilia by the 25th of January 2025. Whether or not that holds true, whether or not that continues to be a thing, remains to be seen. We haven't had a playable test phase yet, which is a little bit concerning. Neverness to Everness is the urban fantasy action game from the people that created Tower of Fantasy. It has a lot of hype too, but where Azur Promilia is typically pretty much well received across the board, people are going into Neverness with a little bit of, well, Tower of Fantasy wasn't the best received game, so players are a little bit cautious about Neverness, and that is entirely warranted. Pre-registration is open for Azur Promilia if you're interested. Pre-registration is also open for Neverness to Everness if you're interested. Neverness is also appearing at the Tokyo Game Show 2024, and while we do not have anything concrete right now, they do have a playable version of the game that is going to be available for players to play, which means we are probably inching much closer to a beta and then a release than the vast majority of other gacha games in this list. While we do not have a definitive release date for the game yet, it is expected, speculated by many players, to be coming at some point in 2025, given how far along the development process we are. Arknights Endfield has pre-registration open for people that are interested. It is also incredibly hyped. I don't think to the same extent necessarily as Azur Promilia, because it doesn't have the same, like, very hyper anime focused, very explicit, very, like, vibrant aesthetic that Promilia has. But this nevertheless is set within the Arknights intellectual property and is then going to appeal to millions of Arknights players. This is a semi-open world, semi-action hybrid game that looks really good, and as a devoted Arknights player myself, is probably one of the 3 most anticipated games that I have personally. It was leaked and then speculated and then all but confirmed that Arknights Endfield is going to be releasing at some point around the middle of 2025, which is both good and bad. It's good because we're going to be able to avoid some serious competition if this releases before, you know, like the 2/3 of the remaining highly anticipated AAA budget gachas. On the other hand, we do run into the issue where the game has been confirmed to not be in a fully functional, fully playable state at present, but you know, we have like 9 months for them to get to that point. The leak did state that they were being rushed, and that never ends well. But if anyone can do this, Hypergriff can. Before we go any further, let me take a moment here to thank my incredible patrons over on Patreon and my YouTube channel members who allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are phenomenal, and I can't thank you all enough for the support. Now let's keep talking. I think right now this is probably the most pre-registered for upcoming gacha game, with 5.63 million pre-registrations after a single trailer, and literally absolute silence since. People were expecting a 2024 release, then they were like, well, maybe it's gonna release in 2025, but due to the silence and the, I think, one of like 3 official Discord messages that were made on the Project Mugen Discord over the course of the entirety of 2024, 2025 is highly unexpected. It is very unlikely. The Discord message stated that they were looking for English speakers to do a text interview to gather expectations and opinions about the game. Outside of that, no word. So 2025 is highly unlikely. If anything, the game is going to be releasing in 2026. So after Neverness to Everness, even though Neverness to Everness took the idea of Project Mugen and actually brought it to fruition before Mugen did, which is crazy. Musume announced that they were launching globally just like a month or 2 ago, after remaining a Japanese exclusive for years. The highest, if not one of the highest grossing Japanese gacha games every single day, every single month for the entirety of the year. This game challenges Genshin, Honkai Star Rail, Nikkei, every major gacha game within Japan, and continues to topple them repeatedly. They do not have a defined release date yet. It is confirmed to be releasing in English and iOS and Android as a free-to-play game. It's likely to happen at some point in 2025, since we haven't had a global beta test yet, and we only have 3 months of the year left. There does not seem to be an open pre-registration for the game yet, however. Another Japanese exclusive that actually does have pre-registrations open, Heaven Burns Red. This is a game that manages to pull in millions of dollars in revenue every single day, has millions of active players within Japan. It currently has 32,869 pre-registered players. They're looking to get up to, I believe it was 200,000. So they're shooting low because this is going to be a very niche game. YoStar is the official publisher for it, since pre-registration is open. And they haven't had a closed beta test for the global version yet. I wouldn't expect a 2024 release date. I would, however, expect a very early 2025 release date, probably earlier than Musume. Girls Frontline 2 announced that they were coming very soon. Unfortunately, I don't believe they have pre-registration open on their website. Taking a look at it, which is surprising. I think the game is honestly going to release at some point early 2025 as well. I do genuinely think that they missed a mark here. If they release this globally, it would have been a much bigger success than it ultimately is, but releasing as a Chinese exclusive and then allowing global players into the game, you know, like an entire year later, has absolutely killed any momentum the game might have had. But it's still a very hotly anticipated game due to the type of game it is. Hoyo actually obtained the publishing rights for Astaweave Heaven, which is their upcoming social Animal Crossing gacha game, in July 2024, which theoretically means they have until July 2025 to publish this game. And we haven't heard, we literally haven't attained a single trailer for it yet. We have footage that was leaked, but no actual trailer. And in theory, it has to release within the next, what, 10 months? Less than 10 months? That is crazy. I am very excited to see how they managed to do this. There's no pre-registration open right now because there isn't even a website. Do It Night Abyss has pre-registration open. They've had pre-registration open and available for, I think, like at least the last 8 months to a year. This is a beautiful game. I technical tested the game and it was fun. I thoroughly enjoyed what I played. They are appearing at the Tokyo Game Show 2024, which means they might drop some big news there, much like Neverness to Everness. Honestly, I think a lot of work was necessary in the technical test, but over the last several months, I'm sure they put in a lot of work and are going to debut whatever form the game is taking now. I genuinely think they could release the game within 2025. I feel like enough of the game was ready back when I tested it. And finally, Chaos Zero Nightmare, which is done by the devs of Epic 7. Honestly, people were hoping after the trailer was released back in April 2024 that was going to be coming relatively soon, but they don't have an official website up for it that I can find. They released a single trailer. We've gotten some gameplay leaks, some character leaks, some world leaks. I'm not going to discuss them personally. If you want to seek them out, you can. From what I've seen, everything looks beautiful. I don't know how far along the development process is, but given we don't have anything global confirmed, there is a global Twitter available, social media available, but nothing definitive. The game might launch in 2025, but I think it would be more accurate to assume 2026. But that's just me speculating based off of the very little knowledge we have about the game right now. And I think that's everything. They're all the major competitors that are going to be coming over the next year or two. I think all of these games have a lot of potential to be very fun, very good, very high quality titles. And I genuinely hope for the success of all of them so I can cover them. Hey you, where do you think you're going? Don't you close out of this tab. I didn't give you permission to do that. Sit your ass back down. Click one of the 2 videos that are gonna be on screen in just a moment and keep watching my content. Keep enjoying my content.